We're joined now by the former president of National Association of Nigerian Students, Sunday Asefon. Thank you for joining us on this night.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
I'm happy to be here again.
Now, the new student loan bill or law, the students are coming out to say it's discriminatory. When the president made the announcement, we thought, a lot of people thought it was a relief.
Yeah, people will be excited about it.
Yeah, so how discriminatory is it?
Thank you so much. I'm surprised about what you are saying now, because what we have, the reports on our various student group, and the report so far from our decks, the students are so happy for the president to sign into law the student loan, because the majority of students felt it was a political gimmicks, because this was part of the manifesto and promises of Ashwaju during the campaign and nationality. But it's kind of fortunate that we are not even expecting the law to be signed at this moment. We were so shocked, and it was a surprise. You know, when you are flabbergasted about a news that you are not expecting to come easily or come at the time, because we are not expecting at this time. The government has not spent 3 weeks in office, and the government has opened a way, and the government has really put a very chill, cold water into the mind of Nigerian students on this loan. So, and the loan, probably once you are a student in a registered university, polytechnics, colleges of education, monoteknics, that is being established by the federal government. You have an access to it, irrespective of your state, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your father. No, they don't care about your father. But what they care is you must be a student.
One question that those who are saying or doubting this whole, this student loan law are saying, with 33% unemployment rate, exactly how will students pay back these loans? Because they're not going to be free. They're loans.
Thank you so much.
Does that give you any concern at all?
Thank you so much. I'm sure for the leadership of Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, so come out, and if you look at the statement of the current president of NAS today, throwing weight behind the subsidy removal, it shows that with the removal of the subsidy, that will give an opportunity to create, because the money that they are paying for the capitalists who have been eating this money, those few people, now they will be centralized on how to create more employment. So once you are graduating from school, you have an opportunity to get a job and pay this money back. And if you also look at the statement of the president of NAS, when they met with Ashwaju today, they only appeal to some area. Yes, there's some green area. Even in the constitution of the country, they ask for amendment, which we believe by the time that Ashwaju is setting up his cabinet, whoever is the minister of education will be able to sit down and meet the person and discuss further on how we can touch some green area where we think is a little bit cumbersome for some students who are less privileged, people who are, their parents are poor. You know, when you look at the eligibility in aspect of the law, they are talking about if you must have someone, a level 12 officer in civil servant or a lawyer. You know, we have some people who their parents, when you look at them from the beginning to the end, every all of them, they are in the farm. We don't have an access to that.
Yeah, but ASU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, and of course, Union of Polytechnics, is expressing some doubt, saying, look, this could actually add to the burden that poor indigent families already have.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry to say that. I think we should leave that. But let's concentrate on this loan Because when you look at the managers of our institutions, our management of our schools, are always complaining about the university or the polytechnics, the college of education is not being funded. There won't be a way for that now. The government are establishing a bank. This money is not going to the account of any student, but it will go back, it will go directly to the account of the school. Once you are a registered student and you apply for the loans, there is no stress so far you are a student, and it will be paid. You know, this issue of no school fees, no tests or no exam will not be there, because the government will pay the money. So we will not be expecting the management to utilize the money to even do more on the building a structure in our universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, and monotechnics.
Okay, Sunday. Now, the challenge here really is the grouse of these students is that they need the government to include their representatives. That's why they think it's discriminatory, because whatever committee they have on the ground to effect this law does not include them, and you cannot shave a man. You cannot shave a man's head in his absence. So that's a grouse.
Absolutely, the leadership of NAS currently, who met with Ashwad today, are correct. We have been agitating for issues like this. When you look at my statement when I met with the Minister of Education, part of the problem we are having is you cannot be discussing the issue that affect our life without involving us. We must be there. And looking at the committee of this student loan, the student is that a former president or a former student leader who understand the nitty-gritty of the student unionism, who can as well guide those who have left the university when university was free. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
When university was free, we'll be able to put them that we attended a university where school fees, in those days, those that have attended ABU's area, when they are paying 300 naira. In ABU's area today, the school fees in ABU's area is over 100,000. We'll be able to tell them, this is our problem, this is where the shoe pains. So it is very, very important. And that is where we are appealing to the president. And I appreciate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for signing this bill. I must commend him. I must appreciate him. We salute his courage. We salute his doggedness, and we appreciate that it's putting into all his promises. But the most important thing, we are appealing to him. Inclusion of the students into this committee will help the committee to drive.
Okay, we're expected to be joined by Professor Benjamin Ozumba, who is the former Vice Chancellor of University of Nigeria, Nsukka. He was involved in writing the bill, so we'll get to speak with him as soon as we can. All right, so, I mean, we heard the president there actually admonishing the students to be more united and, create a stable environment for the student unionship to thrive. Maybe you want to speak to that. There seems to be some kind of division.
No. I also want to thank our father, Asiwaju. When you say people Asiwaju, this man has been every sectors. Yes, aftermath our election, there is a little crack in our organization, and the matter got to his table. Despite the fact he was aspiring to be president of Nigeria, and he felt, these are my children, and he came into it. He settled. Asiwaju was the one who settled the rancor between the two factions in our organization, and he put the house together to be one. And thank God today, NAS has just only one president. That is Usman Barambu from Dutse, Federal University Dutse, which is the president of NAS today. So, and I understand, it was, as a father, he was trying to tell us, and I can assure him, we will make sure that the unity of this country is important to us. It's very, very imperative. The security, everything about this is imperative to us. And as such, we cannot divide ourselves at this particular time. We need to do everything to support the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to succeed.
Interesting.
Fantastic. Great
Interesting.
to hear
Now let's also look at the issue of trust and accountability when it comes to students' loan. Because some are saying they prefer the loan to be paid into their account, while the government is saying we are paying directly to the school. So then also it's important to also be able to help the student manage their finance once they leave school and start working. So where do we balance the issue of financial transparency and of course discipline and responsibility?
I thank you for this question. The government must not make the mistake of paying the money into the account of Nigerian students.
Of course, they're not doing that.
The money must be paid to account of the school. Once the money is being paid to account of the school, everybody that graduated from a school, you have a certificate. Your certificate will be owed to pay back and to get the government to get the money back. The certificate will be a collateral for every student when you graduate. Are you getting me? Everybody they are paying the money, they knows. So, but you know, the only area there that the money should not be paid to the account of student. I've seen a parent giving their child, their children money to go and pay for school fees. They will use for another thing. So we say, let me use it for business. So maybe I can make a profit. Doing that, the president can collapse. Anything can happen on the way. But paying it to the account of the school, your aim is to go to school and get a certificate. And after getting a certificate, having a government that is reasonable, that is having a plan for our generation, then you are graduating, you are getting a job. It will be very easy for you to pay back. Nigeria is moving towards the international standard. That is what happens over other countries.
Fantastic, and you seem to be very, very optimistic about this, and
excited too.
Yeah, and Asiwaju's capacity to actually drive this and make sure it succeeds. But another question that's been asked is, how do you even guarantee that this new law on student loans will actually not fail the way that previous, similar laws failed? What's the guarantee? What do you think needs to be done to ensure?
One, it won't fail. It won't fail if this money is paid to the account of the institution. It won't fail because I want to tell you, people that were applying for these are people who are interested in education. For you to apply, it shows that you want to know what you are doing. And this will give a room for less privileged students. People who their parents could not, we have a lot of dropout students. We may not see that. This will give an opportunity to further their education. I can assure you that the loan will go, because the government is going to establish a bank. So it is not a committee that is going to disperse the money. If it's a committee, then you cannot say ICPC should come and investigate them. At the end of the day, maybe they said they pay for 100 students. No, there must be a database for every student applying for this. And the president, that is why NAS need to be involved. So we need to know, for every year, NAS need to know, we'll be able to publish the names of the students who applied this year, who were given the opportunity of that loan, so that we will know, the government will know. So if we have a data of 10 to our side, and the government is having 15, then we have to cross balance.
Right. Okay, let's bring in Professor Benjamin Ozumba. Okay, we're told he's not even ready.
Us, yeah?
Okay, so back to that point that was made earlier about the unemployment rate, 33.3%, and still, climbing. How realistically can the average student who graduates from university, how quickly can they get a job? Some 2 years, 5 years, still no job. How are they going to be able to pay back? But let's quickly go back to Professor Benjamin Ozumba is ready to speak with us now. He's the former Vice Chancellor of University of Nigeria and Nsukka. It's so good to have you on Newsnight tonight. Still on that issue, let me just bring that quickly to you. The issue of unemployment rate over 33%. How do you expect, how realistic is it that the student who graduates can actually find himself in a situation where he can pay back as quickly as possible? Is that a concern, or should it even be a concern?
It is a concern, but it is surmountable. All we need is to take cue from other countries that have done it. I mean, look at United States of America, look at Africa. America said, the president said this year, if you earn less than $125,000 a year, you don't pay. It's been clarified. If you have money, you pay. If you don't have money, you don't pay. It is a soft loan. Every other country in Sub-Saharan Africa has done that. I was invited in a meeting in Malawi, Southern Africa in 2018, and I made a report to the Ministry of Education immediately about the need for this loan. And I'm particularly happy today that it has come to pass. We have means of getting back the money. We have artificial intelligence. We have blockchain technology. We have social media. It is not a commercial loan. The answer is, if you have money, you pay. If you don't have money, you don't pay. It's an investment by Nigeria which will help to generate more jobs. If the people work, they improve the economy. So I think it's even a shot in the arm for the economy to get more people into the workforce. You talk about unemployment of the 3%. These people, when they are properly educated, will help to drive the economy. So I think it is also a shot in the arm for the economy. That's the way I look at it. It's a question of functionality.
Professor, thank you for your insight. Now, no doubt, this idea, this student loan will help capital retention in Nigeria, and this is really fantastic. Speak to us about those who might decide to go into entrepreneurship immediately after school.
That is where I come into place. I set up the first university-based technology hub in the country, the ROA Technology Hub. This is where the government has now to come in. I'm happy that the discussion has started. Many things have to come into place to drive the economy. Because I'm sure that soon after this, the National Innovation Bill, which I'm pushing, which is virtually waiting for the presidential assent, will come into play. Various countries are asking, what is happening? Benjamin, what is happening? We've had an international conference. They came and met the former vice president, the man who started the first science park in Sweden. Is asking what is happening. We've set up the first university-based science and technology park in the country, the Lion Science Park, University of Nigeria. Innocent have built a tractor factory, have produced laptops which are presented to the former president. And more industries are coming. So this is entrepreneurship. We train our people who go to get self-employed in the university. We are yet to start that. Like in the University of Nigeria, we've set up something that functions by the triple helix, which is the academia, the industry, and then the government. The government is just to play its role, but I'm sure with this one, it's a shot in the arm. The government will come in, and the students will become more employable. When they learn about coding, I'm expecting statements to be made on the fourth industrial revolution. The students have not learned coding where they can stay here and work. What India did, work for developed countries. And then the students will help to kickstart the economy. That is it. Make our students employable, more gainful university-based education. As an educationist, I've seen this happen. It is possible. It has been done. It's for the government to come in, and we're waiting for the government to plug into this aspect after signing this bill.
Let's stay with you, Professor. I mean, you speak of employability, and that seems to be a challenge right now that, some would say has contributed to the high unemployment rate that we find in Nigeria. As an academic yourself, what kind of, reviews do you think or reforms would you expect in the university system in a way that will make education functional, in a way that actually prepares you for the real world after you've left the four walls of a classroom?
Yeah, this is a very germane topic. As I said, the curriculum has to be better reviewed. I'm happy NUC is doing a lot in that direction. Make it a more functional curriculum. What are the students actually learning? They're going to the university. What are they learning? Are they learning things that can help to improve the society and the economy? Are they learning things that will engender more anomie in the society? The students, I was totally perplexed as the vice chancellor of university. You see roads being constructed right adjacent to universities. The faculties of engineering are not part of it. They give it to major construction companies. They don't involve our faculties. I mean, steps must be taken. We have agricultural departments, they don't have agricultural parks in the universities, and people learn agriculture. I made sure I set up even ginger producing factories and so on and so forth, cattle ranches in the university. This is important. This is how to make our education functional. There must be the industrial and the practical components to our education. Our students must be involved in the challenges. Other countries have done that. We talk about the Asian tigers and so on. When are we going to have the Nigerian lion, the African lion?
When are we going to have the Nigerian lion? Very great point there, Professor. Yeah.
I'm also thinking this could be an opportunity for a win-win situation for Nigeria, because he will pace the pipe, of course, the tune they say. So then, can this be an avenue for the government to try to influence the students to pay more attention to STEM?
It is, as I said, this is a very important and welcome move and direction by the government. What has happened is that maybe some people have not been carried along in enacting the bill and so on. I've heard about the academic staff union calling it dead on arrival. I think people need to be better informed. That is the way I look at it. If we are better informed and understand the bill better, I will see that it's a win-win situation for the students, for the society, for the government. As I said, I've had very unfortunate experiences. My first time as the Vice Chancellor, a student they were passing in front of the podium to receive certificates from me, and one slipped in a note, which I read when I went home. He said, if not for you, I would not have graduated today. I became the best graduating student in engineering. I didn't know about that. When I read the whole letter, he said there were 10 of them who were told that they would not do the exam, that they have not paid school fees. I was so touched. I said, get admitted into any university, anywhere in the world, I'll pay for it. What I meant was, please, come back. I'll try to see if I can arrange TED Fund scholarship for you. But I've said it. Within 6 months, he got admission to Columbia University, United States of America, to do a master's in engineering. I got arranged for his school fees. Today, he's a world-class engineer who could have lost such a material. You go to a cyber cafe, because as an academician, I'm always worried. Why are you not in the university? Why are you not moving forward? They will laugh. Sorry, there are no money, no fees. And what do these children go to do? They go to practice hookup and so on and so forth. These are people who could have been better trained to help the society. These are better children who would have trained to help to improve the economy or the social environment. This is a win-win for the students, for the families, for the government. This is how other countries started. How did China make it? They had an educated workforce, and the Americans came to use them, and then they overtook the whole world. Do we have an educated workforce in Nigeria today? Are we hoping to get one? What are we teaching them? Are we giving scholarship just for, I'm sorry, I'm not rendering any discipline. Is it just for ecumenical courses? Or are they doing things that concern the whole world for digital economy and so on? This is the issue. We have to rejig the economy, the curriculum.
All right, that's a very good place to leave it. Professor Benjamin Ozumba is former Vice Chancellor, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. All right, and we're also joined by Sunday Asefon, former President of the Nigerian Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. Thank you very much for joining us, both of you.